Who is the most evil person who is still alive? Hiroshi Miyano and the other 3 men who tortured that poor woman Junko for 40 days. Horrifying and sickening. What did to that poor woman? She was raped over 500 times by over 100 men they invited over. Even worse things happened than that, but I can't bear to write it out. Poor girl was in literal hell and was only 17 when she died. Miyano only served 17 years in jail and walks free. Once you've been to Cambodia, you'll never stop wanting to beat Henry Kissinger to death with your bare hands. Anthony Bourdain. Henry Kissinger. During the Vietnam War, he secretly derailed peace talks between the North and South Vietnamese, because he wanted the war to continue and helped his career, right through to the next president. He also personally planned bombings of targets in Cambodia, who were not even a part of the war. He had no military training or knowledge, he chose random targets he thought would stop supply lines to Vietnam. These were planned in secret, without Congress knowing. The guy who invented the plastic clamshell packaging that electronics come in. There is a Ugandan warlord who is voted the most evil person alive. Joseph Kony, leader of the Lord Resistance Army. One of the most evil assholes found in the International Criminal Court's records. He has allegedly kidnapped over 30,000 children, fed them with arms and guns, made them kill their parents, turned little girls into sex slaves and mutilated hundreds of people. Gary Ridgway killed between 70 to 90 women and is still alive. Dennis Rader 2. Minute Aung Hlaing, the Myanmar junta who commit the coup, still actively killing their citizens every day. He recently airstrikes the village school, resulting 11+ children death just because they heard rebels are hiding in the village. Omar al-Bashir immediately came to mind. Former president of Sudan who was behind the Darfur genocide. Absolutely vile human. I'm going with Luis Garavito. He's a serial killer who was convicted of brutally murdering and raping 147 young boys, however the death toll is likely over 200. He is currently 65 years old and in prison. However, because he aided police in finding the bodies, his sentence was reduced. He could possibly be out of prison next year. Surprised I am not seeing Joseph Fritzl. One of the most heartbreaking cases I have ever heard of. Fritzl imprisoned his daughter in a tiny basement under his home, for 24 years at the age of 18. In these 24 years of imprisonment, Fritzl constantly raped his daughter, resulting in several miscarriages and 7 children. 3 of the children remained with their mother Elizabeth in captivity, 3 were raised by Fritzl and his wife, Rose Marie, and 1 was killed by Fritzl after birth, and disposed of in an incinerator. Fritzl would show Elizabeth porn videos, which he would then force her to reenact them with him, in front of her children, to humiliate her. Fritzl has previously also kept his mother, Maria, imprisoned in the same basement, and probably sexually abused her too. Joseph Fritzl is now serving a life sentence, and the Fritzl residence, as well as the basement where Elizabeth was imprisoned, can be visited in Amstetten, Austria. Edit: here is an interview with Joseph Fritzl, in which he cheerfully describes his life in prison. Edit 2, TBE house can't be visited anymore. It was bought by someone who turned it into an apartment building and all flats are rented out. The basement also isn't accessible, as it was filled up with cement. Australia pedo Peter Scully. He's abused and tortured girls and infants, and has shown no remorse whatsoever.